Okay, nice. So I'll record this and I'll send this to you all as well, or put it on the YouTube channel I have. So let's get started. Okay, y'all can see my screen, right? With the Fig auto layout presentation.
Yep.
Okay, thank you. So yeah, in today's masterclass, I do this masterclass once in a while just to share um, certain topics that community kind of struggles with, and just to like connect with each other and help others to like network with each other as well. So network with each other, and then just to go dive deeper into topics. So I do a lot of content on the short form content as well as like YouTube, but it's really hard to like go in depth in any of the topic. So I do this master classes and let you know about certain things that I'm working and products that I've launched. And if anything that benefits, y'all can like take a look at that as well. So we have Manoj from San Francisco looking for opportunities. Yeah, there are people here who are looking for work. So if you all know any work opportunities or looking for anyone to hire, feel free to connect with them or help each other out to with the jobs as well. So Betty from London, UK, that's awesome. I'm gonna like connect with y'all soon on this during Q&A. I'll go here and connect. I think the chat disappears later. So I'm super excited to have you all here. Today we're gonna dive deeper into a masterclass on auto layout foundation. We're gonna focus on the core foundation for you to get comfortable with auto layout. I know this has been a most painful part of Figma. And then even I was struggling with this a year back. And then over time with working in fintech, you know how much I had to work with like dashboard and data and stuff. So I got like really good at it. So I wanted to share that with the community. So what we are doing today, so we're going to have quick intros and connect, which we did right now. And thank you for being so awesome to type in where your LinkedIn and connecting with each other and sharing what you do and everything. We have senior designers here, we have freelance designers here, we have people from all over the world, Chicago, um, New Jersey, Brooklyn, and Los Angeles, and Bangladesh. And I'm from California, so there are people from California. We have people from Brett is here from yeah, Ohio, and then we have people from Portugal. That's awesome. So we have people all over the world. Feel free to connect, and then if you're looking for freelance work or full-time work, feel free to share. There might be people here who are might be in the companies and looking for the talent as well. So you never know. Let's see if there are any more participants. Probably not. And if not, we'll get started. Okay, perfect. So we are gonna have quick intros, which we did today, and then we're gonna dive deeper into auto layout for 30 to 40 minutes, and then we'll have Q&A related to auto layout, and you can also ask job related Q&A related question as well. So a little bit about me. I am John Rodriguez. I'm currently a senior product designer at JP Morgan Chase. I joined them this year, and I'm a founder of this platform called Design Quest. It's a design education platform. I also authored a book, Landing Design Job with Confidence. I launched this book this year, and I'm currently based in San Francisco Bay Area, and I used to live in Southern California before in Huntington Beach, and I moved to the Bay Area this year. So I'm exploring and meeting a lot of good people. And I live in Mountain View, closer to that Google campus. And then I mentored designers from some of the top companies such as Google, Meta, and I was also recognized as one of the top 10 mentor on ADP list. And that's something I love to do, to teach people, share my knowledge, mentor, and kind of empower them to do what they do the best. So I also recently launched the platform. I would say relaunched. I've been building this from past 2 years. It started as Product Design School, then turned into productlearn.io. Then it turned into Design Quest. This is the name that stuck with me. So a little bit about that platform I've built and launched. It's a design education platform for designers to reach their best potential through courses and communities, and recently launched a Figma course, and then also working on launching this community for helping designers land jobs. So okay, so we're gonna dive into the auto layout today. That's why we are here. And so in auto layout, there are certain core foundations. Once you kind of get good at it, you'll be able to do a lot with it. Many, it can be a little overwhelming to about the auto layout and everything, but if you understand this like core foundations, you can like do a lot of things with it. So it's understanding about how you group things. I'm going to show you all a demo. We're going to do live auto layout walkthrough. So I'll just give a quick okay, people are admitting. Gonna quick overview of the core principles we need to understand. One is how you group elements together and what is related to what and how you are grouping it. And then understanding this concept of fill and hug, and you'll be using this a lot while designing components with auto layout. And then understanding the vertical and horizontal and wrap on all those alignment, how these elements you are aligning with the container, and then the alignment itself and how these elements in that space is aligned in the container. So we're going to look into those core foundations, and then we're going to apply that in my style of teaching. I always teach how to apply it because that's very essential to understand it better. So let's dive deeper into the Figma's auto layout. So we're gonna do this component today from the iOS ecosystem. So okay, the people still joining. Okay, so let's go, and I'm gonna change this theme a little bit to white theme so it's like visible, but I love dark mode. Don't judge me. So let's get this component. So if you already have Figma opened here and you want to do follow along, you can do it as well. If not, that's completely okay. So if you go to the assets here, and you can, so in the new UI3, they have uploaded a few design systems for us. So I added this design library from the UI kit. You can go here and go to the UI kit. Okay, more people joining. You can go to the UI kit here and then click on, you can click on this add library, and I already added the library. So, and you can get this iOS 18 design system. So from that, I just got this component. So again, if you're watching this video again and want to like do along afterwards, when you're watching this recording, so you can get it from here. And if you already are doing on the go here, you can do as well. So you can get a component from the activity view from here, and then you can drop it here. So just for the reference, we are using this as a reference here, and that's the final state what we are going to design in the auto layout. So we have this already, so I'm gonna delete it. So I have the reference and have the assets. I just like took it out from here, and we're gonna design this. I just like designed this for the demo, and we're gonna do it from the scratch. So you can see this is very quite responsive, and then you can see the spacing and everything is perfectly kept. And I see many designers, whenever I look at their portfolios, I've looked into like 200 of them, and then people their spacing is off all the time, and that's not a good impression in your portfolio, because it shows that your lack of attention to details, and people would like reject you when your designs are not presented well, especially for UI focused or product design roles where they kind of expect you to understand design systems and how kind of use auto layout and everything from the scratch. Do we get a link to? Yeah, sure, I can give the link. Let's see if it works. Let me drop in here. Okay, I've shared it. Yeah, so here you can see there's an auto layout applied to it, and then margin and spacing and everything is perfectly synced. And then now that I like do auto layouts, it's really hard to go back and do it without auto layout. So you're gonna get used to it. So let me see. Okay. Yeah, people are joining in. So are you all having editing access or just view? If you get editing access, I'll be charged for that. Okay, can view. Okay, perfect. That's fine. Yeah, so feel free to take this and then I like the view of this. Let me just record. Awesome. Okay, so let's get started with this from the scratch and feel free to take this file in your file, copy and paste it. If not, get this component from here. We're going to build this from scratch. And if you get stuck, we can talk more about how to do it as well. Let's start with this first elements. So one more trick I will tell you about auto layout is just create like something without auto layout first. So you know how things are positioned, and then eventually you can go and build auto layout because you remember that principle of grouping things together. You'll get the sense of it when you have like a quick wireframe or a mid fidelity without the auto layout. First, you need to understand the layout structure and the value it adds to the users and everything. Um, so let's start with taking this elements from here. In order to duplicate this, let's click on option and drag it. So it will duplicate it. And then you can also just do right click and duplicate from there. I'm being a little fancy here. So let's take this here and then we have this element here. Our end state is this one. So that's our end state. So let's start creating that. So let's start looking at the group. If you see this thing and this thing is grouped together, this thing and this is grouped together, and this container contains all the group. So let's start doing that. In order to create auto layout, you need to select an element which we want to select and select the other element. I'm holding shift and selecting the other element and adding auto layout to it. So shift and A, if you click on shift and A, it adds an auto layout. So, or you can also go right click here and create an auto layout by selecting the two elements and add an auto layout. So the new UI3 also has this suggest an auto layout as well. So if you want, you can do it, but see, it already added auto layout. But I want to do things from scratch because it becomes easier to troubleshoot when you are stuck while designing in a real world environment. But yeah, Figma does have that update. So we have this auto layout applied here, and then so if you can see, I'm able to like stretch this container this way. And if you double tap on it, it hugs. So here you can see it hugs. And if I do this, it changes the value, and you can do hug from here as well. Or if you double tap on that, it will hug the container. So I'm going to show like why the hug and everything. So if I need to select this frame and then select this frame and add another auto layout to it, and here you can see then it creates like this gap, right? So this is called the gap. And then here you can see if you hover on it, it will show you the gap between, so horizontal gap between objects. So let's make that has maybe 16. Yeah, we are using that 8-point grid system for the spacing and everything. So we have this container here, and then we have the gap has 16. And then you can also like set it as auto if you want to like adjust it to the container. I'm going to show what auto is, but most of the time I would use that 8-point grid system to make that spacing. So now we have this. So the auto layout is added to that. Now we want an auto layout to be added to this one. So let's select all of this element and shift and A. And now we have this auto layout added to this. So which is pretty awesome, right? So now here you can see is like, John, I don't want this to be center. If you look at this, this is on the corner like this. So how do I move it? And then a beginner would go and try to like, hey, I'm trying to move this, but it's not moving. Why is it not moving? That's not cool, right? I'm supposed to just move it and it needs to go on the top. So in auto layout, we don't do that way. So we select this one, and here you'll be able to see this section called the aligning thing. Here you'll be able to see it's aligning based on how you move it. If you click X on the keyboard, it will remove that the stretching of it. So we'll go into that in a bit. So if you hover on it, you can see it tells you what it is, right? It need not to be complicated. It tells you what it is. It tells you top align, center, bottom align. So you'll be able to move elements within the container um, through this alignment. So here you'll be able to see center align and top align. So we want this to be on the top align. So we have added this on the top align. So that's awesome. So we have that top align. So that's how we do it. So now let's, you can see we have this, and let's divider. We have a divider here. Let's skip that for now. But if you want, you can add a divider to it. And then let's even, so we have this container, so we are good. If you want, we can add another auto layout to that margin and everything here. But for now, let's just keep it and see if the need arrives for that, and we'll do it accordingly. Cool. Okay. So now let's go ahead. We'll take the questions and everything at the end. So if you have any questions, feel free to save it. So I'm going to take this elements here. I'm holding options and selecting this, and then let's go ahead and add a auto layout to this one. So you want them to be, spaced properly and everything, right? You can tidy this up, but then that's not gonna do much help to you. But you can add an auto layout. And one more thing is, don't like go to use groups and stuff. It messes things up. Use like the frames and auto layout. So I can select all of this and shift and A. So it added auto layout. And here you can see this gap. You can adjust it now to your heart's content. Instead of adding a fixed value, we're going to use auto. When you do auto, you are not fixing that value. You are letting it adapt to whatever the length of the main container is. So that's what we want. You can keep it this way here, and then we can make it a hug container, and then yeah. So and then let's add hug auto to it instead of adding a value. So we have that there. Let's do the similar thing for this one as well. So perfect. So and then let's go ahead and add an auto layout, and then let's make this has auto as well, because whenever you have undefined width, what I mean is like this width is variable, right? So you can see if it changes based on the width of the container. So we're gonna make that auto, and we have that here. So we have those three elements here. That's awesome. And now let's go ahead and take this, duplicate this. Okay, now let's add an auto layout to this one as well. So even if you see this is built, Apple has built this with the auto layout as well. So for now, we'll just like look a little bit higher level to that component, and then select the elements here, whichever you want to, and add an auto layout to it. Now it added an auto layout. Now it lets you add a space between here. So we can add that gap has, let's call it 16, and then you'll be able to modify things from here. And then we have this vertical and horizontal. So all these elements are like vertical. That's why it's like that. And if you want to be horizontal, you can do horizontal as well. So you can see horizontal. And then this is wrap. And then it will like, based on your container, it wraps around. So this container, we need vertical. So we have that vertical here. So just see how the elements are organized. So for example, all the elements are horizontal here. That's why we have horizontal. If you want it vertical, you can make it vertical. So we have that here. So it's awesome. We are good so far. We are almost close to finishing this component. That is cool. So now let's go select all of them and then add an auto layout to it. So you can see it organized it accordingly and nicely to the auto layout, which is awesome. So you might wonder like, hey, John, what is this? It's halfway through. I want this to be stretched throughout this panel, right? So people are still joining. Okay. So we can click on it and then fill container. So if you do fill container, it filled. Now you're wondering, so here's the thing about auto layout. You got to break it and then keep iterating, just like breaking and on the go instead of trying to get everything right. And so now we got stuck. This is a problem, right? So it's all about problem solving here. So let's see. Even when I'm teaching, I don't even know what happens. So this steps are indefinite. So here you can see it's like here, but we want this to be aligned to this one. So if I'm going to center here and click on X, so it pushes all the elements on the corner. So this becomes auto. So now I was able to accomplish that. And I don't know if that happens or not. I'm just trying things out and then trying things out. And can I do that again? Okay, let's try. Okay, Control Z. Okay, so we have this element here, but we want this in a copy of the video. Yeah, I'm gonna send a video recording of this at the I'll edit and send it. So we have this element here, and we want this to be like stretched like this. So let's go ahead and maybe try like let's do it like fill container. We want it to be filled, right? But if you see, it's not working the way we want to. And now we want this elements to be pushed on the side like this, right? So what I'm going to do is this number should not be fixed, right? It should be auto. So let's select on the center. Okay, I've selected this on the center because we want those elements to be centered, and then click X on your keyboard. So I'm taking my keyboard here and then clicking X here. So if I click X, it stretches, pushes it to the corner. So if you click W on your keyboard, those are shortcut, but I don't, this is a foundation. I don't want to overwhelm with y'all with that. So if you click W, it goes on the top and then all those cool stuff, but we want it in the center. So that's what we did. It's auto, that's how it works. And maybe we try another approach. We'll see, okay, instead of, yeah, I think that's the right way to do it. Yeah, fill container center X, perfect. And we were able to do that. That's pretty awesome, right? Hey Leonard, it protected and ask you for email, LinkedIn. Okay. Cool. So now we have this container. We want to add this kind of a surface to it, right? So what we can do is select this frame and then add fill to it. Now we added a nice background to that one. And then let's go ahead and add that surface. Add that surface. Now we added that surface. So you might wonder, John, that does not look anything to that like that, right? So what we can do is let's add some padding and margin to it. So let's add, what we can do is we can add another auto layout to that one. So now you'll get the additional margin. So let's make it 16 and then maybe 32. And now fill container. So yeah, so now we can just fill this container from this one, and then we can remove the fill from here. It's not essential because using the similar fill, since, okay, the background is black. Okay. Yeah. So now you can see the container, it added that fill. We can go ahead and add you can change now the margin, whatever you want to from here, which is pretty awesome, right? So let's go and add a corner radius to this one. We can directly apply for now. If you want, you can use variables and all that stuff, but we'll add to 16 using the 8-point grid system. And then let's add a nice shadow to it, effects, then shadow, and I don't know, but dark background. So we can go ahead and add a drop shadow. So let me just go add a nice shadow to it. And then let's blur this a little bit. And this is just a preference based. So okay, we have the shadow here. That's looking pretty nice. If you see, it's already shaping up, and then what's missing. So we can name this, double tap on. So I want to show you all this additional corner radius stuff. I didn't realize not many people know about it. So there is this corner smoothing by Apple's way of doing things. So if you see, it's like maybe it's not that visible. It smoothens your corner. It's very subtle, but if you see, it smoothens up the corner. Those like very subtle, so which is pretty awesome. So cool. So we have that element here, so we can change the space in between. Okay, so we have that applied. So we have the container and everything. So we almost, yeah, we have completed this module, this component. So here you'll be able to go ahead and adjust if you want to. So if you can fill container, if you click fill, it fills up the container. Like, don't let this overwhelm you all the time. You're just using fill and align and hug and vertical and this one. You'll be keep messing around with this till you get anything, something right. That's how I learned it. I watched so many
The
videos.
main you
No worries. It's fine. So we have the component here. So we can go ahead and name it as an activity. If you double click on that, you are clicking on activity. So, and now if you see, if this is not stretching, right, this you wanted this to be stretched like how you saw that. So in order to do that, because this container is fixed, so we can click on fill container and then you can see it's like filled to that one. So you might wonder, John, like this is not acting the way it should, right? And again, here you can see I'm problem solving it on the go. So if you click on it and then you can click auto, and then it's like I told you, auto is like automatically defines the space between. Okay, so now we did that. So let's see if it works. Okay. Okay, and you can also add this min width. So let me go add a minimum width, and then let's make it 470. I'm adding a minimum width. After that, people won't able to make it smaller. So whenever you're building a design system and everything, you can add a minimum width to things so that it's constrained to that value. So okay, we are constraining it to that. So maybe that's too stretched. Remove the minimum width. Let's try maybe min width has 390. Minimum, add a minimum width has 390. Okay, we're almost close finishing this. So this is a minimum width. So after that, even if you push, it cannot go below that, right? It will break the component. So in a design system, there's like minimum width defined. How is implemented corner smooth from developer side? Okay, let's talk. Yeah, let's take that question during. So now we can see you can stretch this, whatever the device width is, it will adapt to that one. And then now you build this with the auto layout and you're maintaining all the spacing and margin and everything. And now your product manager comes and says that, hey, hey, Mr. Designer, why is it breaking? Should not be breaking. Okay, so maybe let's do this as fill containers. So if it breaks, fix. We can he can say they can say, hey, or maybe the researcher comes and tells the priority is to have the messages in the front. That's what people use the most, or it could be user dependent. Now we can just move things around here, and it will adapt to that layout so well. So you can move things around and then change the order if you want to, and then you'll be able to see it adapts to that layout, which is awesome, right? I really love this. So yeah, this is awesome. And then this is the activity, iOS activity. Nowadays, is for a designer, it's very important to know how to set things up, and the teams might not able to work off your file if you um, if you don't build your construct your component this way. It's very essential to build your elements with auto layout and everything. So here I can move around things and it adapts. So that's about the auto layout. So it's already 10:08. That's awesome. So we have that done here. If let's say, why is this here? So you are able to stretch and move elements around and everything, which is awesome. So let's remove I can show you wrap a little bit. So let's say you are doing this small, right? And then you want this to be wrapped. So instead of vertical, you can click on wrap, and then if let's see if it adapts to that. Yeah, here you can see this, it's adapting. you wouldn't make any component that small, but if I'm just want to show you the wrap function. So here you can see it's this beautifully wrapping right this section. That's awesome. And let's see if the wrap works here. It doesn't work. So we need to fix it on the granular level and everything. But the wrap works here for bigger components, and you wouldn't make a component this small. So here, at least for this one, right? This could be a smallest version of that, and it's wrapping the component, which is awesome. Yeah, so that's about the auto layout and the component. So we designed this component using auto layout, and you can publish this to your design system, create this has component, make a variant of it and whatever you want to. And now we have this it in our assets, and you can reuse it again and again. And then so yeah, we created a component and the variant, and then you can publish it to the design system and everything. Awesome. So let's go ahead and come back to our presentation. So we created this auto layout on the go here. Let's Q&A time. And before that, so I published a advanced Figma course, and this Figma course is for industry professionals, and I'm covering 10 modules and 60 lessons end to end, from auto layout, variables, prototyping, designing mobile app dashboards, and everything that you need to know to master Figma. The core value of this course, different from the courses, we have bi-weekly Q&As and the community also to ask questions. And then it's a duration of 4 weeks, and it's designed in such a way that every week, like 3 modules are dripped to you. And then so that it's not overwhelming, and you on the week by week, you cover this. And at the by end of 4 weeks, you'll be covering all of the modules, and you'll have a lifetime access to all the recordings and everything. That's part of the Design Quest platform product I've recently launched. So if you are interested to master your Figma skills, you can check out my advanced Figma course. That being said, we'll do Q&A about the auto layout, and then we will, if you have job related questions, you can ask, because I'm a lot about helping people with their job related stuff. And then if you have course related question as well, you can ask. But primarily session is about auto layout. Feel free to ask questions about auto layout, and I'm going to start with the chat, but feel free to on your mic, and happy to answer the questions. So let's go ahead and answer some of the questions here. Can I ask a question? Yeah, Brett, let's start with you. Let's go ahead. Yeah.
First of all, John, this is awesome, dude. You really have gone through some stuff that really like and put it in a way that really makes sense. So thank you so much for doing this for everybody. I'm sure everybody agrees. So I'm sure you've experienced this as well, and I'm sure other people in this meeting have also experienced this. Could you hop back over to the Figma real quick, and I'll explain my question a little bit in more detail?
Sure.
So like in a professional setting, when you're dealing with product managers and you're dealing with other designers, a lot of times something will change, right? And you'll need to like add to the component. For example, like right now, and I'm not sure if you did this on purpose, I think you probably did so that people would ask the question. You see where it says like airdrop, and in other ones, it has like labels. So say the product manager comes in and they say, you know, we're having issues with these 4 icons. They need labels. They're not communicating to our people. Well, we haven't built that in, right? So we're adding something totally new to this component. Now, how do you undo auto layout and then add in a completely different element? Not just snap something new in. I think that's something that a lot of designers have problems with, because a lot of us are working within design systems and components that already exist, and then we need to modify them. So could you maybe go through the process of what that looks like?
So yeah, that's a really good question, Brad. And then it goes back to how the component is constructed, and in the design systems, and sometimes in the in the real world, we have to push this change from the design system level itself and not on the local level. And that's where we got to, like, that, right? And we got to communicate them with them. But if in terms of tactically, what I can tell is the way this component are constructed, there's a way to do it. For example, let me go to my course file where we have this like instant swap, where we are like swapping things in between that. It comes down to how our components are constructed. So I would recommend you to check out this. I might not able to cover it here, but this concept of instant swap. Let me go to scalable components.
What if
Um,
there isn't an instance yet? So like
yeah,
say you have to create something totally net new. Like say you want to put that image in or like yeah, a status. Like you want to add a status to the very top of the component.
status.
Um
That is that.
yeah, maybe we could even copy that and then go back into the other file and just try to insert that somewhere and then make sure that it's still responsive.
Mm-hmm.
That makes sense?
Yeah, that makes sense. No,
Awesome. Thanks,
yeah,
man.
yeah. And if you want, we can talk more and explore that as well later. Cool. Yeah, if you have time, we'll come back to that, and that needs a bit more deep dive. But basically, in a company, you have a uh, area where content space where you can swap different components and inject different components from the design systems from that. And then I would recommend to check nested components and then instant swaps. Those are very helpful topic to know. We'll take more questions. So somebody asked for the course link. Um, Okay, so for the course, let's go to design, not deserve, design quest. Okay, let me go here, Notion, quick links. Yeah, it's on my platform. This is my platform, designquest.com. That's the link for the course. I'll also send at the end of the session compiled into an email of all the resources. I have a podcast and everything. You can watch that, and there's a free YouTube channel as well. For I'm trying to get good at it. I'm busy with the podcast, but there's a YouTube channel here. I'm posting free content. Like if there are any questions we couldn't get back to, I'm happy to answer them on that YouTube as well. So yeah, how to maintain auto layout in a table design. um, in a table design, you are building each cell's columns with auto layout, and you're stitching all the tables together and then adding an auto layout to that one, and you are able to do that fill and hug with that. So that's how you construct tables. Data tables are very complex. We've been have a designer working like 6 months on it in a design system. But you're basically, let me see if I can share from, I have it probably in my, yeah, auto layout, date auto layout concept. Yeah, so basically adding columns and then you're adding auto layout to that one, and you're injecting instant swaps and icons and everything from the design system. Next, let's take a next question. How do you maintain auto layout? And Brett, just come to back to your question. If you cannot do anything, the best thing to is like break the component and rebuild it and propose it to the design system to add it to their library. So in our work, we've been lately doing a lot of floor plans. So if there are any custom component that's not aligning with the product manager's need, we create our own component and we create like a floor plan to it and then propose this to the design system team. Yeah, data tables are one of the most complex things, and we have a designer working 6 months on that. Yes. Can you share the link to access the core info? Yeah, I shared the link. It's designquest.com. It looks like the label on the app message didn't copy over to your design. How would you about adding this label after its auto layout? Okay. Which label are you all referring to? Uh,
The airdrop label, if you go under it,
yeah. Okay.
I think the main question she's trying to get to is like how do you detach and add something new in? So like for
Okay.
the label, what we can do is we can swap out the component or
Yeah.
with a new
Yeah.
those four icons with the thing underneath of it, right? The text underneath of it, and swap it out. But what if you need to add something totally new that doesn't fit within that component? Like say you want to add an image underneath those icons, right? Like how do you
With
detach
this
it to
icons,
add?
right?
Yeah, yeah, yeah. So she
Okay.
wants to add like label underneath of that, which you explained earlier. You would do a component swap,
Yeah.
right? With a label. But what if you wanted to add like, let's say you want to add like an image, right?
Mhm.
Just an image
Uh,
underneath of like underneath of the exactly. We can just drop something in probably. Um
Okay.
underneath like in between, let's say
Uh,
the images of the people and then the icons below them.
yeah.
Uh, and maybe there isn't a spot or a slot where it'll just snap in. How do we go about disassembling and then reformatting?
Yeah. Let's try that. Let's try to do it. So, okay, tell me a picture that you want.
Yeah, just pick any, literally any of them.
Let's pick
How about the image of the city right there?
okay. Okay, cool. We'll do the city here.
Yes.
Okay. So we have the city here. I'm a bit nitpicky.
Oh
So
no, I totally. So you
yeah.
pick a frame, you put it in a frame. I think that's important
So
part,
I
right?
just drop it here, right? That's all you're asking.
Okay, cool.
And then fill container, and then we have it here.
Awesome.
So it's snapping to that. So sometimes, like, let's say this I saw this issue here, right? And I was like, I might not have time to, but you can also add, I don't know if this is a hack, might be. So if I click on the airdrop and then just select this two elements, so it needs to be closer, I can add another auto layout to it. Now this space, if okay, if you see a problem here, right? I want to change this label to this width, but when I change it, it changes everything. So I don't need that, right? So I can select this and add an auto layout to that one and then make it 16 here. So you'll
Oh.
able to fix that here. And coming back to your question, if I let the product manager say we need label for all these icons. So what, again, instance, it's like a component and variant. I can do that. For example, okay, let's do this here. So let's make this as a detach instance. Let's make it as add a label to it. So let's call it has label, and then go ahead and added a label, and then let's make it 6. Cool. So we have the label. What we can do, we can make this as a component, and then I would make it as a variant. Uh, and then in this way, in this version, we don't need this. We can name this as without icon. Uh, without icon. Cool. And then let's name this as with icon. It should not be with icon. Not icon, sorry, label. With label. Perfect. So we have this, right? So now we can bring this from here and drop it in here. I can delete this one, and then I can drop like maybe all of, and let me delete all of them here. So I'm just swapping in or adding, it adapts to that, right? Whatever you add in there. So I can go ahead and select label, and you'll have the label. So when the PM might say, I need the one with label. So using just a component and variant here like this. So now if you want to change anything, you can change from here or from here locally. So you'll be able to do those. This is like on the design system level I'm changing. Here I can change it to locally to nodes. So you are able to modify those things in between. So now you can, if you say you want to add the card here, you can add at the bottom. So you are able to modify things from there. Yeah.
John, just a
Yeah.
quick question on this. Are you able then to update the icons?
Yeah. So here is the thing. It's up comes down to how your elements are constructed. So right now, this container is not built for the icons to change, right? So what I can do is, let's say I'm gonna build this contain. If I have to build it the right way, if I'm working on like the design system team, so let me go ahead and make this an add to read list, right? So we have this, And then we have, let's take a icon from the iOS world. Let's go ahead and then see if they have icons. Icons. Cool. We don't have icons. Maybe, okay, I have this, let's add another design system from UI kit and then Google Material Design. So let me go ahead and here, okay, let's take some icons from here. Why did they make it so difficult? Okay, let's take these 3 icons here. 1, 2, 3, 4. Right? We want to swap the icons, right? So let's see. Okay, so let's tidy this up and then let's make this as create multi components and then combine them as a variant. So we have this and let's name it for demo. And then, so I'm doing this because just to make a point, this is not constructed. If you're constructing the right way, you would do it this way. So now let's go to our current library demo, and then we have this component and variant. And now I can do it the right way. And then let's center align, auto layout, and then let's fill container, and then maybe add stroke for some visibility. Make it outside 0.5. And then the fill is added to it, right? That looks so bad. Okay. Okay, let's do a fill container. Okay, let's remove the stroke. Stroke is bad. And then, okay, we have this here. I should not be focusing on the spacing, but I'm just so like wanting to get it right. So, okay, we have this section, right? So now if you are like changing this, now we are, let's mix this style. Let's add a shadow. I think that way it shows, okay, we have this element here. And then now what we can do is we can go here and then swap the components from here. So if the PM says we want a different icon, so you need to reference everything from the design system so you can able to swap it. This is just a component variant. That's another concept of instant swap. That is a bit, every component will have like a property to it. And then you'll be able to create those properties and stuff. But for now, if you want to change icons, you are just like able to change it from here. And let's say if you, in another case, if you want to like, sometimes you have to break it and then you'll be able to, yeah. So, okay, I get the problem. So now if you want to add this, right, how do I add this? So you could just drop it here and it will adapt to that. Yeah.
Just a quick question on that.
Yeah.
Super helpful. Thank you. With those icons that you group together, where it says demo, if you wanted to like add more icons, could you like add more icons to that group and then have access to them to do that swap? Does that make sense?
I love that question because I was stuck at that question long time back for like around 2 months. Then I met this one of my friend at my work. He's like Figma, like Lord. So he showed me that solution. So I asked him the same question. So what we can do it, what he told me is you got to paste a icon within this frame. For example, you create like the ghost frame here, something like this, and then
Right.
you can go to so instead of adding to this one, you got to add it to this frame. Only then it works.
Right.
I haven't tried it, but let's hope it works now. But that's what the concept he told me. Let's say checkbox, right? We want to add a checkbox to it. Let me break this, detach. You have like a separate one. So, okay. I hope it works. If not, I'm gonna make a video on it, but that's the concept he told me.
Right.
But let's see. But basically you're adding it to this frame. Oh, thank God it worked. you okay, here. I just added this to this one. Yeah. I didn't.
Awesome.
Okay, he told me I never tried it, but I tried it here and it worked. So if you have the library, if you want to add it later, just add the frame to it and then paste it inside there. Yeah.
Right. So you sort of duplicate whatever icon you have in there and then replace it with
Yeah.
any new icon that you
Yeah.
want to add. And are you able to do that with, I was actually, instead of icon, I should have said image, because I was actually thinking the note image that you have there. And I was wondering if it's possible to do that with those images, and I assume it is. So like the airdrop image and the note image, where you created the variants there,
Yeah.
just below to
Yeah.
your left.
Yeah. Let's try if let's see if it works. Because I'm gonna try it. Okay. And then yeah, you added it here. You can do it.
Okay. Yeah. I mean, I guess, yeah. So where it says demo, where you created that sort of icon library, what is that called? Like what is that process?
So in order to create like a set of this one, so you can make that has create a multi-component and then combine it into a multi-component, and then you have that in the library here. So you'll be able to get this, whatever you name this, it will come here. Hello. Cool. And then yeah, you'll be able to, that's not the one. Yeah. Hello. Cool. You'll be able to swap it, Alex. Yeah, it's just look into multi-component component, and then yeah, you can do it from there. Cool.
Yeah, super helpful. Thank you so much.
Yeah, no worries. Yeah, we're running out of time. So these are great questions. I'm going to share this as a recording, and then thank you for joining, everyone. And then if you have any questions, connect with me on LinkedIn. I'm going to share some additional resources with you now at the end. And then if you have any questions, so I shared my course link. I shared like the YouTube link. It's a free resources for you to learn. And then I also do a podcast. If you are interested, you can check out that on weekly basis or bi-weekly. I interview industry experts, so you can check that as well. And yeah, connect with me on LinkedIn. I shared the LinkedIn link with you all as well. And if you have any questions, you can reach out to me as well. Thank you everyone for attending, and have a good Labor Day holiday, and have fun. And then thank you for attending. Bye.